Richard Nixon. The conventional wisdom about Richard Nixon was that he was Tricky Dick, and that you couldn't trust him, and that he, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, well, let's find out. And he understood something with me, and we became friends. And when I say friends, I don't mean close friends, but he figured maybe this guy, Wallace, had a different take on him, and he was going to educate me. And you know something? He did. Because he was a very wise man, a very thoughtful man, and I liked him, and he liked me. We hit it off. He wasn't crazy about the press, and vice versa. And so he began my education. And the more I learned, the more I was anxious to get in there with the heavyweights. Come on. The dream, of course, for a local reporter at that time, local anchor, local interviewer, the dream was to go to work for the Mother Church. What's that? CBS News. CBS News. Cronkite, Severin, right. Winston Burdett, the Cal brothers, Charles Collingwood. I mean, right. That was the Mother Church. If you could get a job at CBS News back in those days.
And you fell in clover because you're in New York as a general assignment
correct.
CBS News correspondent, and Richard Nixon lives in New York. Mm-hmm. So you're not the Washington Press Corps, you're something else.
Correct.
So it works for both of you in a funny way.
It did. I'll never forget the time that I was ushered in to see Richard Nixon up in Maine or someplace in New England with all the heavyweight reporters. Who the dickens is this, and why is Richard Nixon paying attention to him? Because they were not getting the kind of attention from Richard Nixon that they wanted. My friends and colleagues at CBS, I was at CBS from '63 on, I tried to persuade them. I really did. That look, this is an interesting man. He's an educated man. He's been through hard times. You're going to be hearing more. And they thought I was a patsy. I mean, I was a Nixon patsy. And they looked down their noses at this young reporter who basically, they're saying, doesn't know his ass from third base, and turned out I was right.
Wow. And then at some point, late in '68, I guess, you are actually asked if you would be interested in working in the White House, mm-hmm. in communications office or as press secretary. And you are intrigued with that offer, and at the same time, there's a new TV show starting up.
Called 60 Minutes.
Called 60 Minutes.
I don't even know if it was called 60 Minutes back then. But I remember very well conversation with Nixon at the convention. And he says, well, I'll see you out in California. He's about to launch his campaign. I'll see you out in California, Mike. I said, oh, no, Mr. Nixon. I'm going to, I have an opportunity. I forget exactly what the hell I told him. He looked at me like I had lost my mind. He said, listen, Mike, we're going to be taking some great trips. And I thought to myself, what in the world is this man talking about? Well, he took some extraordinary trips.
China, yeah.
That's exactly right.
Wow. So you flirt with the idea. You don't flirt with it, but you imagine what it would have been like. Can you imagine if you had taken the job as press secretary?
To Richard Nixon?
Yeah.
What happened to Ron Ziegler?